Thanks for checking out my video on the September Rose Brew eyeshadow palette. This marks the start of UK and European indie brands I'm going to feature on my channel and blog. If you're not familiar with indie makeup brands, check out my description below. This eyeshadow palette also marks the season for autumn and fall makeup for me, so I'll share my swatches and my autumn inspired looks in a moment. You might have heard of September Rose already. I think I might have heard the brand mentioned a few times across other channels. I didn't truly discover it until I researched a little bit more into UK indie makeup brands. I mainly saw North American brands featured on social media, including the European community, and they're not as affordable and easy to access here. And while I'm still interested in them, and I will use and share those too, I'd really like to discover if there's some great indie brands on my doorstep. It's a great option if you live in Europe and struggle with international costs, or even if you live somewhere else in the world, you might be interested in discovering new makeup on this side of the pond. So that's really where I'm coming from. If you already know September Rose really well, then feel free to forward on to the swatches and looks, though I'd like to share some really cool information about the brand. As I mentioned, it's a UK brand based in London, which is my neck of the woods, and the founder and owner is of Tanzanian descent. Here's an interesting fact I learned from the owner. The company's name was inspired by the song September Rose by Kaylin Russo. I don't want to get done by copyright, so I'm going to leave the link to the song here and in the description box. The brand is cruelty-free, and I'm happy to hear that they've applied for registration with PETA to be listed, and they're just waiting for a response. My experience and interactions, the owner is very responsive and very kind, and I think that says a lot about the brand. And I think the palettes reflect this quality, as you'll see. I love the artwork for this brew palette. I'm a tea and coffee drinker, so this for me really does give off a nice warm vibe. I bought it about a month or two ago, knowing I was going to use it this season. For a 16-pan palette, it's a really nice size, not too big at all, and it's got a really interesting, very warm, slightly neutral colour story. So here are the swatches. So here I'm going to show you a few looks I did, starting with look 1. The first look. They blended very well and they actually lasted the whole day. Here's the second look. And that's my second look, this time using one of the shimmery shades, which are very pigmented. Here's the third look. So here's the third look, a really nice warm vibe, really nice and easy to blend. I've enjoyed using it, so I've done a fourth look. That's the fourth look. I really tried to do something different with it. You can see those light shades are really pigmented and they come out really well. I did one more look. And this is the final look, a lot darker and deeper. Here's my final thoughts. I really enjoyed the palette. I really like the design and the colour story. A few of the shades looked a little different to what I thought they would be, but when I blend them, some of those hues I saw do come out and they transition really well. So it proves to be quite a versatile palette and you can create quite a lot of looks with it. And I think that's also because it's got a great combination of shades. I used an eye primer for these looks and they really lasted all day. And even a few times without the primer, they lasted at least 9-10 hours and wore gracefully. This is definitely one of my favourite warm palettes. And I reckon I'll be reaching out for this quite a lot because it's really wearable and particularly for this season. It really brings out the vibes. Let me know what you think about the palette. Have you tried it? And do you use many indie brands? Comment below and thanks for watching.